Hi everybody, welcome. And it's a great honor today to be with my dear friend, colleague, master astrologer, Pam Gregory. Thanks ever so much for taking the time today to come back, because we've had literally hundreds of questions for the Pleiadians. So I think you've managed to sift through them into certain categories, and just leaving it to you really, Pam. I've no idea what the questions are or what order they're coming, but let's just organically see where it goes.
Okay, and just to say, some of them are your questions, Braca, some of them are mine, some of them have come in from people who follow your work, people who follow mine, and it's also a great privilege for me because you have a massive loyal following of 300,000 people following you on YouTube, and that last interview we did with the Pleiadians, which is what we're going to do again today, so it isn't just humble astrologers, you're getting some real wisdom coming up, that has also received almost 300,000 views on YouTube. So that's been really remarkable. So people obviously find it valuable. Your following is so well earned because people absolutely love you. Everything you do is with love. So I'm not surprised at that kind of response. So let's get going in no particular order. Do you want to bring in the P's, and then we can, I'm going to start with more mundane subjects and questions, and then we're going to sort of move out to the galaxy, as it were.
Okay, thank you, Pam. Just like to say you have a terrific and very loyal following too. Yes, so thank you. Oh, we are delighted to be with you all again. What a pleasure it is. Oh, dear Pam, how generous of you to take time out of your very, 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 very busy world to talk with us. We love you so very much, dear ones. We are so thrilled to be in your presence. Yes, it is an honor for us because we are always around, but we like to come and give you help because right now upon planet Earth there is so much happening. Many of you are not knowing which direction to turn in. And we hope that today the session will be of help to you so that you will find that there are many directions that you can turn in. There is not just one way and one route. There is much that is open to you, that is already opening to you. And if you can just look around you and look in the different directions rather than always looking in one direction. You have a tendency, you dear human beings, we love you so very much, but you have a tendency to walk in the same way, to talk in the same way, to read in the same way, to go to the bathroom in the same way. Yeah, you tend to do things just same old. And we just want you just to, we just want to tweak you a little and have you look in another direction, yeah? Have you look over there, yeah? Ooh, yes, have you look somewhere else, yeah? Because there is so much else to see that is really not being perceived by you at a conscious level. Of course, unconsciously, you pick up everything. The body does pick up everything. But consciously is what you are striving towards now. Anyway, we love you very, very much, and we're going to be quiet now as we wait for our dear, dear Pam to ask our first question.
Well, actually, Pleiadians, and welcome and thank you again for your wisdom. You help and guide us so much. You've really prompted the first question, because can you expand on those other directions in which we should look?
Well, you need to look beyond what is familiar. You're always looking to the same things. So you're looking, right, I've had a job here, I need to get a job there. Yes, you're looking at jobs in the same way that you've looked at jobs. And even when you say job, yeah, it's not a nice word, it's like a job. I've got a job to do. Yeah, it's not like I'm going out to have a wonderful time. I'm going to express my aliveness, my spirit, my soul. I'm going to do something I enjoy doing. Yes, you see, so we have to turn that word around, for example. That has to be a new direction of a job. Yes, we would call it a lubricant. You see, we like making up new words, yes, because it takes again, because the brain goes, what? You see, we can see you all going, what did they say? A little just sucked. You see, but it's about really taking yourself out of where you always sit. If you always sit in the same chair, sit in another. If you always sit the same way in that chair, sit in a different direction. Look at a different perspective. So it's about new directions, new perspectives, opening up, asking questions, asking for help from the universe, asking for us to help you. Imagining that you are seeing the world from the perspective of a dolphin. How does a dolphin see the world? How does a dolphin relate to other dolphins? You see? So what you really want to do, and so many of you want to open to channeling, you want to be bigger channels. And channeling really is just increasing your frequency bandwidth. That's all channeling is. You're increasing that width with which you can receive information at a more conscious level. That's all you're doing.
So how would you advise us to do that, Pleiadians? Should that be through meditation, through stillness, through breath work, through being in nature, through using our third eye and activating that more fully? How would you advise us to communicate with you more fully?
Well, each of you has a different way that works better for one than works for others. So really, it's just about finding different media of the things that you enjoy. So if you like meditating, then meditate. If you don't like it, don't do it. Very important. Some of you really force yourself to meditate. You don't like it, do you, at all? You just don't want to really sit there so still, so quiet, you know, a bit boring for many of you. So if you're bored with that, then do something else. Dance, play the drums, look at the sky, go out at night and look at the stars. You might even see one or two spaceships if you look hard enough. Yeah. But really begin to look more intensely at what is going on around you and ask for messages, ask for information. Hello, little birdie, what did you come to tell me this morning? What is your message for me? You see, you're not having an interaction with nature around you. Mother Earth is dying to speak with you through the animals, through the birds, through the beads, through the flowers. She's just waiting. But you're sort of passing by, you're rushing by on your bicycle, or you're going out for a quick walk, or you're nipping here, or you're thinking about all kinds of other things, but you're not really truly with nature when you are in nature. But this is what would give Mother Nature so much nurturing if you would be with her completely. And it would uplift you, and she would guide you and show you so many secrets that you are searching for.
And will that give us a greater sense of our multidimensionality too?
Of course it will, dear one. Yes, it will.
One of the things you mentioned when Braca and I were chatting a week or so ago was that the lockdown has actually had a very positive effect on our auras. And I wonder if you could share that with everyone.
Yes. It's not so much the lockdown, it's the distancing. Yes, okay. Many of you have been very worried and upset about distancing. Some of you love it, all right? Some of you are not particular for all that huggy-wuggy stuff, and so some of you, it's perfectly fine. But for many of you, it's been painful, yes? You really want to hug your loved ones. But what we want to tell you here is that whilst you are distancing, you are developing a strength in your own auric field. It is getting stronger, it gets more powerful. You know how it is. If you go to a cinema, and it is pretty full, you will still look for the seat that has got one next to it that is empty, rather than squish yourself in where you're really, tied in on either side by different people, especially those you don't know. You understand? Yes. So you actually innately look for space. So welcome this and see that it's an opportunity to develop the being that you are, to really get a sense of your own light, your own strength, your own, just you, yes? And it's wonderful, yes, put your arms out and twizzle round all those meters that you're not supposed to be close, yes? Really just twizzle yourself and just see how lovely it is, yeah? Nice, there's nothing in the way. All that lovely space, you see. So, but you are strengthening yourself spiritually through this experience. And often when somebody comes into your aura, they can take upon your energy. Like this, you are building your energy field. Yeah.
Wonderful. And can you also share with us, please, Pleiadians, that they are, as we understand, higher frequency, higher vibration energies coming onto the Earth's plane, that they are helping to upgrade our DNA and shift us from carbon to crystalline. Could you share some of that information with us and how you see that affecting us positively?
Yeah, we certainly could. Well, as you know, the planet Earth now needs an upgrade. Yeah, it's a bit like you have to upgrade things after a while. They get old and tatty and dilapidated, and they've got to be upgraded. So now you are in for this upgrade, and the upgrade is involving many light beings who are helping upon your planet. They've always been here, it's just that they are closer now because more of you are awakening. There was a time when very few were awakened. So it was more difficult for all this light to be able to penetrate and to be able to reach, shall we say, the average person. But now you see, you are hungry for it, you want it. You can see that you are living in old clothes on a toxic planet largely that's not happy, that's not appreciative of the things that are really important, that's been focused far too much on the things that are not so important, that's extremely out of balance. You know all these things, but we are just pointing out. And therefore, with the level of dissatisfaction that you have upon your planet Earth now, there's a cry for something more to the heavens. And here you open up because you are asking for the higher frequencies to come and help you, you understand?
That's really wonderful, and I yes, that's a wonderful reply. Thank you so much.
Oh, we like that. We like that you like it.
Also, I understand that the Earth has been offline in the past, but it's now in a much closer contact to all those galactic beings that are helping us. When did that start to happen, please? And how many beings are actually with us helping in this process?
Oh, you love the numbers, don't you? We want numbers. Now then, the first question was, sorry again, Pammy?
When did this start to happen, this close connection?
2 years ago, it got an accelerated point. About 2 years ago. It's been going on for some time, but 2 years ago, it was a really big activation. 2018, around November of 2018, was a very, very big activation. And since then, it's growing and growing and growing and growing. Yes? And the numbers, you want numbers.
And will this enhanced communication with benevolent galactic beings such as your good selves, will this actually accelerate our own capabilities and gifts and intelligences?
Yes, there's no question about that. No question, because you see, you are connecting in with what you have always known. You come from the stars, dear ones. You come from the stars, yeah? That's what you are longing to go back to. It's the longing, you know, you live on planet Earth, but there's a longing for something, isn't there? There's the longing for that feeling of freedom, that feeling of flight, that feeling of being able to go wherever you want to go, whenever you want to go, without having a job. Yeah, you understand?
Absolutely. And for those people who want to connect to various galactic beings, how would we know individually whether we were connected back to the Pleiadians, like your good selves, or the Lemurians, or the Arcturians, or whoever? How would we get guidance on that? And would that guidance be helpful anyway, to know our origins galactically?
Well, many of you like to know your origins, and that's a good thing. We're not saying it's not a good thing. And you really are just given the information. If you resonate with us, then chances are you're a Pleiadian. It's quite as simple as that. Yes, it's not complicated. Right. If you have lifetimes of memory of Lemuria and Atlantis, you may well still be a Pleiadian, you see. And many of you are hybrids and crossbrids and multi-brids, you see. So there's so much here that is so rich. Yes, we want you to live in the plusios, as the Greek would say, plusieurs, as the French say, yes, many, yes, plusios, many. There is such a richness, and you live in the tininess largely, and you are being opened up to see that there is so much more, that you have eyes all over you. You don't just have 2 eyes or 3 eyes. Yes, you'd like to say it's a 3rd eye, but actually you have many, many eyes.
Wonderful. Thank you, Pleiadians. And Brackett and I are seeing quite a strong shift of energy at the end of this year and going into 2021. Can you tell us a little bit about how you are seeing that change in energy and what it will mean for us on the ground, as it were? Are you seeing an easier reality as we move into 2021?
Well, the reality depends upon how you experience your life. Easier, harder, really depends upon the individual.
Yeah.
That's the first answer, really. So, but overall, is it getting easy? Are you asking, you know, are there going to be more events? Are there going to be more things of upheavals and uprisings and those kinds of things? Is that the question, dear Pammy?
Yes, that's another question, actually. Yes, absolutely.
Woo! Love this. We love it. It was such a nice interaction, isn't it? Yeah. Well, you see, there are going to be more events. Yes, if you're asking, are there going to be more events? For sure, yes. And you know it. You can sense it. You see, as beings, you sense it. You already know things are coming. You already know that life is never going to be what it was in terms of how it's been for the last couple of 100 years, that you are needing to make a massive jump. And you want the massive jump. You see, now we would say about 20% of you really want the jump. Now that's a lot more than it was 10 years ago when it was about 2%, you see. So within 10 years, you've gone to 20%. Within another 10 years, you'll be at 90%, you see. So you are very, very close, if you like, with this critical mass. And you're already at critical mass largely because so many of you want this to change. And we got a little lost now because you asked a lot of questions and we're still about the numbers. We're worried about this question, dear one. Come back to it, dear one.
Sorry, Pleiadians. In a previous talk we had together, you said it would take about 12 years in 3D time for new governments to form. Will it really take that long, or have we gained enough momentum in that tipping point that is going to come down the track faster for us?
Not necessarily. Don't look for it to be faster. Yeah. Okay. Look for you to make your leaps faster. Don't look externally too much. Yes, you're always looking externally. Yeah, let's have this all in place. It's almost as if you want all the pieces in place. But the fun of life is the pieces are never all in place. They're all floating in the air. There are all so many possibilities, which is what we started off by saying, is we want you to dream up more possibilities. You don't have big enough dreams. The people who have been most influential on your planet have been those with the biggest dreams, the ones who have not let go of those dreams, the ones who are willing to go beyond what looks possible and go for the impossible, just as channeling looked impossible to Bracha. And still feels a little strange, yeah? But nonetheless, you see, and so many of you need to begin to do and be the impossible. And as you do that, you won't be worrying when or how governments are getting themselves sorted out. It won't be upon your agenda because you'll be so embraced with your life and your aliveness and your passion and the things that are giving you joy. You won't be worried what a stuffy old government is doing or not doing. Yeah?
Okay, that's very interesting. So we really have a considerable degree of latitude across the global population in terms of what each individual experiences.
Yes, very, very much so. And the more of you that experience at that frequency, the more you pull more of you upwards. Yes, the more you pull together. Yes, as you were talking in your very physics-like manner, your scruffy chat with Bracha the other day. Yes, you were explaining a little of that so that people could understand the dynamics of it. Yeah.
Wonderful. And our sense is that the New Earth template already exists. It's just a frequency change.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Okay. We love you so very much, dear Pam. We tried to give you good answers, and sometimes it's just one word, you know. What can we say? We love you so very much.
Is there going to be more galactic disclosure over the coming years, Pleiadians?
Ooh. Yes, most definitely. Yes.
Okay, and could you give us some idea when we're going to start to see that or hear that in a bigger way?
Well, many of you are already seeing and hearing it, all right? You're just not sharing it, and it's not widespreadly, shall we say, shared, all right? But you're asking for, you know, when is it going to be the headlines of the Daily Mirror? We have found aliens. We found them. We caught them. Well, it's going to be in the next 2 or 3 years. You're going to get more and more evidence that there is a lot of strange activity going on. You get it with your crop circles, don't you? Goodness gracious, where do those things come from? So you're going to have more and more of these types of phenomena that are, you know, a little, you know, they're puzzling. Yes, how could this happen? How could that happen? Already many of you see us, feel us, experience us. But in terms of evidence, about 2 years.
Okay, and because you mentioned crop circles, can you tell us about their origin and their meaning, please, Pleiadians?
Well, they have different meanings depending upon the messages that are expressed within them. They are a language. It is a language of a people that are communicating to you. It is a language, and they are showing you that you can work with nature in magical ways. They are nature beings. They are the nature beings, and they are communicating through planet Earth to show you how to work with nature. But it is a language, and there are messages within those crop circles for you to understand and to appreciate. And really, when you get above them and you can see them from very high up, you will see that the crop circles make sense in terms of sentences. If you could get high up and have many of them together, you will be able to put them together in pieces of a geometrical shape that will actually make more sense rather than one at a time, because they are all connected.
That is really wonderful. But there's a strong and different electromagnetic frequency at those crop circles.
Most definitely, of course there is.
Okay, so the nature beings, are they also galactic?
Of course, yes. From your perspective, they are galactic, yes.
Okay.
They are not beings on Earth, yes, absolutely.
Okay, gosh, absolutely wonderful. So what you seem to be suggesting, Pleiadians, is that our reality moving forwards, if we work well with our frequency, is going to be dramatically better than where it is in 2020.
Oh, of course, absolutely. That's what you've all been calling for. You've all been calling for an opportunity. Calling, you see, somebody's calling. They heard us. They love tuning in, don't they? They just love it. Don't you love these synchronicities? You see, you're going to find more and more synchronicities in your life. You're going to find that your things are going to fall into place in miraculous ways that you cannot imagine. This is why we want you to open up your imagination to more.
Because what you seem to be suggesting here, Pleiadians, is that this year, which is, I think what Braca and I feel very strongly, is a massive ending and beginning of something that you could actually call the golden age on Earth.
You could call it that, yes. We would not, but you could call it that. We love you so very much.
Okay. So the technology,
a humanoid exploration of new horizons.
Wow. Okay, very impressive. So will the current technology that is used on Earth, which many consider to be harmful, will that be replaced by benign life-supporting technology as we move forwards?
Yes, almost definitely. Yes. All that's in the pipes. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
No
Okay. And are there any positive benefits to artificial intelligence in any way for us, for our intelligence? Any good things about it?
Well, it'll take away a lot of the laborious jobs that people have had to do, the repetitive tasks that really people don't want to do, and you understand. So what it can do is take away a lot of the repetitiveness and make you able to free you up to be able to be creative beings if it's used in a very conscious way. You see, if it's used with conscious awareness, it frees up probably 90% of the population away from the mundane things, if you see. Yes, if artificial intelligence can help you with constructing your buildings, can help you with your food supply, can help you with all the things that have to be done by people at the moment, but artificial intelligence can do that easily, then of course it frees you up as human beings to explore your much higher frequencies that you haven't been able to do while you've been stuck in jobs.
This feels very exciting, Pleiadians, really exciting. And we understand that this shift which is taking place, this shift of consciousness, is it the case that that's affecting the whole galaxy and not just our Earth?
Absolutely, of course. It's like, as it is with one in the whole. Yes, it is, you hurt your finger, your whole body's reacting. The entire body, jumps to action, doesn't it? Of course, as you raise, you affect all the galaxies and the stars and the universes, of course.
Wow. So can you in any way describe this world that we have the possibility of moving into? In the past, you've mentioned it's going to be cleaner and greener, and presumably going to have free energy. And what about the whole financial situation? Because in the past,
Pammy, just let that call just go. You can see that everybody's tuning in at the moment, and just let it pass. Yeah, you've got
okay, sorry,
bread, so the wires are a little crossed. It's all right.
No,
Just
no,
let
sorry.
It'll pass. It'll pass. 1, 2, 3. Woo! All right, we've settled that frequency now. It will not interrupt.
Okay.
Yeah, Pammy, we love you.
Okay, so could you describe to us in a little more detail the kind of world we could possibly be living in? In the past, you've talked about it being cleaner and greener and presumably free energy. Is there anything else you can tell us? Presumably much more telepathic. What else can you tell us about that world?
But it really depends upon how you now work with your imaginations. You can create that world and uncreate many worlds. You can create many different worlds. There is not just one world, remember. There are many, 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 many mansions. Yes, you understand?
Yeah.
So it is unlimited. And you have always seen yourselves as such limited beings because the body has so many needs and you sort of live by those bodily needs. Oh, I'm hungry, I've got to pee, I've got to this, I've got to sleep. Yes, and you've lived by all that dominating you and you want to have the balance because you want to experience life within a physical body. That is what you are in. And we are saying the physical body is wonderful, but you have no idea of the potency and the magic that the physical body can open to you if you would only open to more of its mansions, so to speak.
It's really, really wonderful. So if we do, Pleiadians, go into another difficult situation in the autumn, which is what many of us feel and what you are really suggesting, that is another wonderful opportunity to raise our spiritual abilities.
Absolutely, and to do it now, really, and not to be worried about what is happening, you see, because the real spiritual person is not affected by what is happening on the outside, not on the deepest of level. That person knows that their soul is, that it's more important for that soul to be nurtured, to be at peace within itself. And then you create the peace in the world through your peacefulness, through your ability to bring yourself. Doesn't mean to say you're not affected by the suffering, the pain. Of course you are. But if you get into the suffering, the pain, then you're just another number along that lot. And you're not helping getting out of it, you see. So as you recognize the pain, but you are able to keep yourself in an equilibrium and a balance, then you will find that you can help many more, you see, with whatever comes up. And not to be afraid by what comes up, because isn't it exciting? If you knew what was coming up, you would be bored. That's why you love to travel off in your little aeroplanes everywhere. You want to see different places. You want to experience different smells and tastes and people and languages. So if you could only see life from that perspective, as an opportunity to experience so many wonderful, wonderful new perspectives, then you wouldn't be so worried about all these different things. And part of what happens is due to the, shall we say, the overall anxiety and worry. You understand?
Absolutely. And since you've mentioned travel, Pleiadians, when will we will we be able to more freely travel, have some of the freedom back in order to visit other countries and in order perhaps to visit or set up communities of like-minded people?
It's not going to be the same as it was, all right?
Yep.
If you're looking to go back to what you had, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Packed like sardines in your little aeroplanes going off here and there and everywhere. Not going to be like that. You're going to want a higher meaning to whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
You're going to want to have something that is higher than you had before.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it won't satisfy you. You'll go on a 2-week break and you'll come back, you'll be miserable as you were before you went. So it's got to have more meaning. Everything that you do, everything that you think, everything that you say has to have a higher frequency to it now, more consciousness. Many of you walk around half asleep. You understand what we're saying here, dear one?
I do, absolutely. So if we are going for some higher meaning to join a spiritual community or create one, when is that?
Those people, if you're asking that, yes, you'll be able to get together with the people that you are meant to be with, absolutely. But again, put out your vision, raise your frequency to the highest level. Ask Spirit to guide you to those with whom you are meant to have the highest possible frequency so that you can bring everybody up to our spaceships. Yeah, you want to visit, don't you? You want to come and see us? Well, you've got to be able to raise yourself. We can't just pluck you out. Yes, we realize that you have dreams and things, that those things happen, but they really don't, dear ones. They really don't. Yeah? You raise yourselves out and up. Mm.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Going back to the economy, several people have asked about the global economy.
Oh, money. Oh, we've been up in the stars and now we're coming down to money. We love you. Yeah.
So cash presumably is going to disappear.
Well, as you know it, yes, it will change. But it will still be a form of cash. There will still be a form of exchange that no government can ever take away, dear ones.
Okay, but the world will become much more equitable.
Not necessarily, no, not necessarily, no.
Because there is.
Why do you want equity? Just one moment here, just one moment. Let us just look at this. You want everybody to be equal, but you see, it is not how nature works. In nature, there are some very tall trees and there are very little trees. There are some very big flowers and very little flowers. Does it mean that one is better than the other? Not at all. It is just different. So once again, you're looking for equity here, and we would be careful with this, because it's not what you're wanting, really, at the deepest spiritual level. You are just wanting that each is able to reach its highest potential of life upon this planet Earth.
I suppose I was thinking of, so much inequality in the world, so much poverty and deprivation, and that's what was in my mind.
Well, that absolutely, that has to change. Yes, you cannot really be in a world, it's not a spiritual world, shall we say, when 1% or less owns so very much. Yes, that's not a spiritually elevated place to be. And you know that. So if you're talking about that, of course, this is part of your dilapidated tramp-like clothes that you're wanting to discard because they stink. We love you, Pammy. We like it when you laugh. Love you.
So following that line of thought then, will more of the corruption in the world be exposed, and therefore that will help to wake more people up? Yes,
of course. That's what you want, because then people get pain and they don't like experiencing pain and they say, oh, goodness gracious, too much. Can't stand it anymore. Right, can't stand it anymore. I'm going to switch the television off. I'm going to turn my device off and I'm going to do something. I've had it. I've had it up to here. I've had it. That's the place you need to get to in order for something to significantly change upon your planet Earth, you see.
Okay, so would you advise us to protest peacefully against things we feel very strongly about?
Yes. There are many strands. We were slow to answer because there are many strands to this question. Yes, you protest peacefully, but then you create something new and you walk in the direction of the dream of what it is that you wish to see in the world. You never lose sight of that, because this is what pulls you upwards. Otherwise, you are just in the mesh of the fight again. You understand? You're going round and round. You might be peacefully protesting, but you are protesting, yeah? Yes, and it's, you're saying we don't like this. All right, you don't like it, but what do you like, you see?
So to focus on the new that you're creating, don't look back to the old, that's crumbling anyway, to focus on the new. and make that your total focus.
Yes, it's not as black and white as you would like to make it, dear one. We love you so very much for wanting to be so linear, but it's a little of each as you begin to see that there are other ways and other perspectives and other ways of doing things. We wish you'd be a little more funny and a little more creative in the way that you do things.
Okay.
Yes, you can do things in so many different ways. And you look for the same ways, right? With peacefully protest. And off you go with your little placards, and it's wonderful, we love it. But you know, there are many different ways of making your voice heard, many different ways of being, changing this world. And of course, you can do it through big intention experiments, where you all meditate together and these kinds of things. These are very much more powerful ways of changing the world than going out there and trying to do it very physically with your fists and your knuckles and your, you know, and shouting and things.
Yeah, absolutely. And how can we help to heal the earth and the animals and all the beings that are currently...
By stopping doing all the things that you've been doing.
But I mean, there isn't anything positive in addition to that.
No, if you just stop, they would be perfectly happy. It's very, very simple, dear ones. Just stop it.
Because that does suggest that the Earth is naturally, as we've seen already this year, with reduced pollution and air travel, the Earth is able to just undergo a resurgence and an abundance.
No question about that. That's exactly what nature does. Nature is much more powerful than you can ever imagine.
Right.
She knows what she's doing, but you've got to leave her be. You know, if you keep antagonizing a dog, eventually it'll bite you.
Yeah.
But if you just leave it be and you just let it be, it's not going to touch you. It's just going to be. Let you be and you be.
Fantastic, Pleiadians. And is there any other advice you would give us through this very turbulent transition that we're going through at the moment in 2020?
Just love each other, dear ones. Just love each other. Shine the light of love wherever you go. Speak love, be love, just shine smiles upon people. Shower people with smiles. Practice your smiling. You know, practice it. Practice funny smiles. You know, imagine you are just playing a little, yeah? Really just let yourselves be a little childlike. Yes, just play, but play with the innocence of children. Become innocent in this world.
Yeah, and be a smile millionaire.
Beg your pardon?
And be a smile millionaire.
Oh, we're in the money again. Oh, love you, love you, love you. Oh, we love you so very much, dear Pammy, and you've interviewed us so beautifully today. Yes, we really enjoy being with you because you are so, shall we say, very creative in the way that you do this, and you respond very much in the moment. You're very present with us, and we really love you, yeah? I'm giving you a very big, socially distant hug.
Fantastic, Pleiadians. Could we just end again, as we did last time, with Braca sounding the frequency of love for us, please?
Yes, we would love to do that. We love you all, dear ones, and we are never, ever alone. Never, ever alone. We love you so very much, dear ones, and we hope that that soothes you and just gives you a feeling of belonging upon this planet Earth. You do belong.
I think you've given us all a wonderful raise in frequency, all the people who've been listening to you, Pleiadians, so much divine wisdom. We really thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much.
We love you very, very much. And once again, dear Pammy, we love you, and we love all of you very, 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 very much.
Thank you. And thank you, Braca. That was wonderful wisdom for us all.
Thank you. Thank you, Pammy. Sorry, it takes me a minute or two just to come back.
It's wonderful wisdom. We're really, truly, deeply grateful for that. And we know it's very tiring for you to channel. So that was a real gift for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pam, very, very much, really. Much love.
A pleasure. Much love. Bye for now.